Good evening, all. I, Surbhi Iyer from NUSC, would like to welcome you all for our live chat show, Behind the Dreams. Our speaker for today is quite a special one. He is an alumni from MPSTME who pursued his BTech in Mechanical Engineering. He has an MBA in Operations Management. He is a certified Lean Six Sigma holder and is currently associated with Indo Universal Collaboration for Engineering Education as a social media marketing consultant. Not only in academics, but also he is a motivational speaker who has inspired several students across the country, a three-time TEDx speaker, and a musician, a multi-instrumentalist, and a vocalist. He has also started his own initiative called Musico Positive, where he spreads positivity through music. We welcome Mr. Aniket Joshi to share with us his journey from being an engineer to a versatile musician. Good
Thank you
evening,
so
sir.
much, Surbi. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone over here. And it's such a privilege and an honor to be back to my family where I belong to and which has contributed a lot to my success and just feels great and I'm happy to share my journey.
Even we are delighted to have you, sir, on our show. So we'll start with like you started your liking for music at a very young age, and you were introduced to the keyboard as your first musical instrument when you were 8, and from that instrument you went on to another. So you have seen music uh, intervene with your life seamlessly. Can you take through us this journey of self exploration that you took behind the scenes?
Sure, sure. So it all goes back to when I was 8 years old, and since I used to create a lot of nuisance out there at my home, so my parents decided that let's channelize this energy somewhere. So they enrolled me into a summer camp, wherein there were two activities which I had to choose. So first one being cricket, as I used to play cricket and love it a lot, and the second choice being an activity which would consume less energy relatively. So it was instrumental music which I chose. So at that point of time, my overall perspective of instrumental music was that I get to touch those instruments which I've been seeing on the television or on other print media platforms. That how do they? I mean, how do they look? How do they sound when I play them on my own? So it just started like that, and I never knew that it would go on to become my profession one day and my identity one day. But that's how things happen in life. And I was 8 years old when I was introduced to keyboard. Going forward, I started with basics of the keyboard. My school teachers guided me with the basics, and after that I started building up upon it, started practicing on my own, because I had realized back then that as soon as I heard any song, I was able to play it instantly on the keyboard. So that is something which I had realized in a very early age. And the way I was going about with my musical journey, my school teachers, my school music teachers realized that was required to be introduced to more number of instruments. So they introduced me to violin. So violin was the second instrument I learned, and they just taught me the skills, the basic skills, and after that I had to build up upon that. And once I knew the technique of playing one of the string instrument, I just went on and to implement that particular technique in other string instruments like bass guitar, lead guitar, mandolin. So these are other three string instruments which I do play. So as of today, I am able to play a total of 10 musical instruments, and the list should should expand, I think. But as of now, it's 10, and I look forward to learn more inquisitively. I would say the curiosity to learn was something which has driven me to learn so many instruments. But still, my first musical priority remains the keyboard, as it is from when I was 8.
So, having such an avid interest in music, you decided to pursue engineering. and then you took the engineering plunge at NMIMS University. So many of the people see this as two very different paths, and people often see this as a problem of choice. However, you devised a mechanism to balance both, and then you kept the passion for music as well as engineering. So, what was that mechanism, and does it still hold relevance in your postgrad life?
So the mechanism, I would say it's one of the skills which is required by each and every one of us. Like being one dimensional in terms of academically proficient is important, but at the same point in time, you need to develop various other skills which bring the humanistic element into play. So multitasking one was one such skill which helped me to balance between my academics and my passion. And I would say it was kind of a journey wherein it was initially school and music. Afterwards, it became college and music, and so on. So that music part remained constant throughout in my journey, and I've tried to keep it because I had realized that I was God blessed, and I had I had the ability, I had the musicality. And when you realize that, it's such a beautiful feeling that God has chosen you for that particular job, and you need to preserve it. You need to spread music around. That's what your job is. That's why you have been provided with those skills and those kind of potentials. So that was the point that I thought that since I have this ability, I must cultivate this and uh, take it forward and not leave it. At least I was not rating myself in terms of proficiency at any point in time, but I never wanted to leave it. And I would also say that my faculty at that point in time was very supportive. They have always been such huge motivators for me in my musical journey. So, would like to take up this opportunity to thank all of them because they have played a major role in my journey as a musician as well as a mechanical engineer.
So you balanced your music and your engineering, and then your path of innovation started with that very technical project when you were pursuing engineering. So what was the role of NMIMS in molding your passion, as well as that at that time you were creating a milestone in your career?
So, first of all, I never thought that I was creating a milestone at that point of time because it was just one ball at a time. That's what my approach has been. That when you are in front of a task, just complete the task and move forward. As simple as that. That's the focus area which remains in front of you, and not think much about it, not to overthink. Just do your bit in the best way you can. That has been one of my I would say one of my driving forces. And when I joined NMIMS, nobody knew actually that I do sing also. So it was totally a fresh start. My voice had changed. My voice had just become manly. So I'd started singing at that point in time. Before that, I was known as an instrumentalist and an accompanist. So getting a fresh start was already an advantage. So at that point in time, participation is something which became a key for me. I just thought that whether it's a competition or a performance or whatever it is, I'll just participate into it. I won't think about the end result. I would go on to participate and just do justice with those seven musical notes and with the ability which God has blessed me with. Again, coming to NMIMS, music room, the infrastructure, the events which kept happening at regular point in time in the campus was something which kept me at it, that keep on practicing. In the next event you need to improve yourself. uh, I used to feature at the university days which happen in January every year. So I used to get the opportunity to come to Mumbai from Shirpur campus and perform, and also accompany students from various schools of NMIMS. So I used to help them building their musical performances. I also got one of the opportunities to sing in front of the Miss World 2015, uh, Rolling Strauss. So I got to meet her, I got to sing in front of her. So these are opportunities and these are moments which motivate you continuously. And you must make note of all these moments and go forward with the kind of learning journey which you can have. That's most important for me, I think.
So seeing your journey, it's like interesting to know that your music complemented so very well with your engineering, and that led you to invent two musical instruments. So how did you come across this creative idea, and what was the process behind it?
Uh, Basically, the process was that I had been through all these 3 years of my engineering already by then, and I always wanted to establish a connection between my academics and my passion, because I just thought that if I could do both of these simultaneously, it would be amazing. I mean, what more do you need when you are a musician and an engineer and you are able to relate these two things? So we were being taught a subject in our seventh semester called as vibration engineering. I remember Professor Praveen Kumar Loharkar had taught us this subject, and he was coincidentally he was only my guide in my final year project. So there came these words like frequencies, musical instruments. There were examples stated by him which included music into them. So I just thought that could I do something into this as my final year project? So I went to him and I asked him. So he just suggested me a simple thing that just go out there and read some research papers and you will get the direction yourself. And that was the point when I started brainstorming and I started to think about all this. And there was a lot of research which had been already done on various instruments, but I found one of the instruments where the research wasn't done. So mandolin is one of the instruments where the research had to be done. There was a research gap over there. So I chose that particular instrument. I already owned the instrument. So I basically innovated the shape of the sound hole of the existing instrument and created two new resonant designs which were superior in terms of sound quality and volume, because the major gap which existed over there was that this was a little instrument, and the volume which it produced was difficult to be amplified. So my aim of this project was to increase the peak to peak intensity of sound by creating resonance. So I achieved this by creating these two new designs and innovating those sound holes. And as a result of it, fortunately, I got my first TEDx break in 2017. And the talk was titled My Mechanical Engineering with Music. So as I told you that I never realized that it is going to be such a huge milestone in my journey, but it proved to be one. And I can't thank enough to my faculty guide, Professor Praveen Kumar Loharkar, at that point of time, because he was someone who gave me the belief that you can do it, just go ahead and I'm with you. So that's something which that's a major role which our faculties and our mentors play in our lives when we are all alone in this journey.
So from there, you started your motivational speaker journey, right?
Right.
And then you gave on, like you continued giving talks about conquer yourself. So you have laid in your TED talks, you have laid a lot of emphasis on conquering yourself. And
Right.
when did you realize the importance of conquering yourself? And are there any significant events in the past where you have conquered yourself?
Yes, there are. There are. So in one of the TED Talks, the theme was conquer yourself. So I got a chance to revisit my journey and to introspect myself. So what happened was that I just went ahead with this theme and thought about it, and I just realized that wherever you are overwhelmed, you tend to lose your focus, and that's the point in time where you need to conquer yourself. That's the main point of time where you need to conquer yourself, and these instances and incidences keep happening, but you never realize that you're getting overwhelmed and losing your focus. So all these were I took all these moments as my opportunities, and I would say that there's a concept called connecting the dots, where you if you are moving ahead in a journey, these dots are basically small experiences which we have in our everyday lives. and we keep questioning ourselves that why is all this happening with me in such a particular sequence. But going forward, when you revisit your journey, you get a logical connection out there. So I believed in this theory at that point of time, and I just thought that let's go ahead and just let's go ahead and learn. That's something which is most important at the end of the day. So there were various instances wherein I conquered myself. First one being when I realized that I knew what musicality was when I was 8, and it was a special ability. Not everybody could play any song they heard on the keyboard. So one can definitely get overwhelmed and overconfident and not learn and just think that I know it. That's it. So that was the first instance when I conquered myself. After that, when I was able to learn multiple string instruments, so again conquering myself over there, because that was not the end of it. I wanted to learn more. The curiosity to learn more remained over there. So that was another instance. Thirdly, the project itself. I mean, the risk, the kind of risk which I was taking by creating this project, because it could have failed. And if it could have failed, I wouldn't have secured any marks in my major project, which would have been a barrier to my graduation. But it was a high risk high return kind of a project. I did it single handedly, and multiple times I had to conquer myself during that particular phase, because I used to think that all my other friends are doing projects in groups of 4, groups of 5. I'm the only one who has taken this as an individual project, and I'm carrying it forward. I don't know if I would be successful or not, but you need to push yourself at that point of times, and these are the times which teach you a lot, and these are the landmarks, these are the milestones which remain as a memory in your life, and those are the moments which will keep pushing you forward in the difficulties which you are going to face in your journey. And the most difficult one, I would say, is when I conquered myself was I got an opportunity to sing in front of my guru, Padma Shri Suresh Wadkar ji, and I got an opportunity that I would give an audition in front of him. So I went to him in 2018 and gave this audition to him, wherein I didn't know how much time would I be given to sing, but all the time I was provided was with 30 seconds. So I started singing, and within 30 seconds, he just pauses me. He stops me. Okay, stop. It's done. And that was the point where I had to put all these years of self learning from when I was 8 years old to when I was 24. All these years of learning, I had to reinforce into those 30 seconds and prove that I had gone about in the correct direction. And there was someone sitting on the other end who is a maestro, who is I would say worshipped by his disciples, and he was the validation point. I would say he is someone who validated my self learning. So conquering myself in those 30 seconds is something which I don't think I would be able to do again. But it's one of my biggest achievements, and I'm blessed enough to have been a disciple of him. And I continue to be his disciple. He's someone who's, I mean, no words about him. You can't describe him. He's God to me. As simple as that.
So, when you talk about these experiences, these milestones that you have covered, having such successful careers in engineering, music, even operations management, so what were your biggest learnings which you have derived from this journey?
Okay, so I'll give you some points from music, engineering, and operations, all three of them. So first of all, considering music, music has taught to me that what is the importance of being a good human being, which is the most important thing as of today. I mean, we are in such bad times as of today that being a good human being is as important as anything. So, if you're a good human being, only then you can be true to your art, and only then you can communicate with your listeners. So that becomes so important. So purity of your soul, being a good human being, improvising. So music is something which teaches you to improvise. You can go about building long and long compositions on various notes and improvise. Then being an inquisitive student, because in music there is no limit. I mean, the learning continues and continues. There are so many calculations out there happening in the rhythmic world, and so much to listen to. I always emphasize on this particular part. Listening to music for each and every musician is so much important. It is as important as practicing is. So if you're practicing for about an hour in a day, you should listen double to that. I mean, 2 hours of listening and 1 hour of practice. That should be the kind of ratio which one must follow. So, I mean, there are no limits. Music has taught me that there are no limits to learning. It always continues and it will continue till your last breath. You would never be a learned musician. You cannot consider yourself as that I am done. I mean, I know everything. There can't be a stage where this would come, and this holds true in all the domains. It may be corporate, it may be jobs, it may be your professional career, it may be teaching, it may be being a student itself. It always continues. It's just, I mean, it just gets on multiplying. Secondly, considering engineering. Now, engineering taught me to consider things in their logical dimension. It taught me how to brainstorm, because if you're studying a subject like design of machine elements from the mechanical engineering, and if you want to design a machine element, you have to consider hell a lot of things that would affect that particular machine element in those conditions. So you have to brainstorm. You have to think about each and every possibility which that machine element could experience and which would lead to its failure. So this is something which engineering gave me from the technical perspective. It also taught me to never give up. So fortunately, I never got a re-exam throughout my engineering journey. So I was fortunate enough, and MPSTME and NMIMS is one such university who would test you to the fullest in terms of your engineering knowledge, because you don't get a chance to skip even a single topic. I'm saying this to you because even if you skip one single topic in your curriculum of mechanical engineering, then you are creating a huge problem for yourself, because based on that topic, you're going to get interwoven subjects which you would face difficulty with. Thirdly, engineering taught me importance of accuracy and precision. So how important all these two factors are in one's journey. Thirdly, considering operations management, the one most important thing which it has taught me is that there always exists a scope for improvement. I'm inspired by one thought of Kaizen, which is a Japanese term, and it says change for the better. So it can be generically implemented anywhere and everywhere. So Kaizen is something which inspires me. Apart from that, efficacy, efficiency, and effectiveness. I mean, there is a lot of scope to improve in all these three terms in order to get a better end result. Then optimizing resources, which is the most important thing. I mean, the kind of resources which we are using as of today, there can be a better way to use all of them in an optimized manner, wherein we are utilizing those resources in the correct way and not wasting any of them, because resources are never unlimited, they are always scarce. So that is something which operations has taught me, and I just go ahead and I mean, I'm just learning. It's just a journey for me. So as I say, I mean, I always say this to everyone these days, that it's never your job experience. I mean, never call it job experience. Call it a life experience, because every point, every experience in your life, every small dot, as I stated, teaches you something, and that is the kind of experience which you want from there, and you want to apply it in your day-to-day life. So it's a life experience, it's not a job experience.
So who told about music teaches you to be a good human being. You have also addressed music to be a mode of communication among people. So, how do you find music to be a mode of communication with people?
Okay, so music is something which I mean, it's so abstract. It you cannot define it. It's very abstract. Any voice, any sound is music. If you, I mean, there is a rhythm to everything. There is a count to everything which is happening around us. And these seven, I mean, if you consider Indian classical music, these seven musical notes, the frequencies are going to remain constant throughout the world. You can travel globally and these musical frequencies won't change. And it can be a means of connecting the entire world together. I mean, why do we create divides in between ourselves? We are all human beings at the end of the day. And music is something which teaches us that being human and I mean a humanistic existence and not creating divides within ourselves. Secondly, it also teaches us to collaborate. I mean, when two maestros are performing on the stage, consider Ustad Zakir Hussain and Padma Shri Shankar Mahadevan ji, if they are collaborating live on a show, they are on a journey of 1 or 2 hours. It's a journey for them, and they never decide that what they are going to play out there on the stage. They are just communicating on the stage seamlessly without the audience getting to know that they are communicating. So, how beautiful that concept is in itself. So, that's why I stated it as a universal code of communication. And it's all about collaboration of different genres, which must continue. Fusion music has a lot of importance as of today, and collaborating with artists from different genres, from different countries, from different art forms, it's so important because you get to learn a lot from the other artists from the genre which you haven't explored, and the artist also gets to learn a lot from you. So on the whole, it becomes a multiplicative effort wherein the output is something incremental. So that's my thought about the universal code of communication as music.
That's actually a very beautiful example which you gave. Two great musicians performing together. And you yourself in music, you have transitioned from being an instrumentalist to being a vocalist. So what was the driving force behind that where you outgrow yourself in the process?
So becoming a vocalist, as I said, that it was a fresh start when I joined NMIMS in 2012 at the Shirpur campus. It was fresh. Nobody knew me. That who is this guy? I mean, does he play instrument or he sings or what does he do? So since that was things were very discreet, no judgments and nothing else. You have that freedom to go out there and I mean just express yourself. So the driving force I would say is since I had been an accompanist for such a long time, and I had been accompanying various vocalists out there, somewhere within myself I knew that I could hit the right notes. But I never tried and experimented it out there on the stage because I was treated as a instrumentalist. I was treated as an accompanist. Okay, you're a support person. You are going to support the vocalist out there to sing. But I always wanted to feel that how does a vocalist coordinate seamlessly, simultaneously with so many musicians? I mean, as an accompanist, I have a role that I have to play my parts well, but as a vocalist I have to be coordinating with multiple instrumentalists, and as a vocalist you get to learn more. So that is something which became a driving force. I just wanted to experience it in terms of being a vocalist, because all these days I was a spectator sitting back of the stage performing and supporting the vocalist out there, which is an equally important role. But being a vocalist yourself, it's a different experience altogether, and that is when my journey became complete. It became holistic. I became a holistic musician at that point in time when I started singing. And with everyone's blessings, I mean, all the listeners, all my faculties, all my teachers have been truly genuine. They have been blessing me throughout, and That's why I've been able to self learn with all the positive thoughts, and that's why I was able to become a disciple of uh, such a celebrated artist, Padma Shri Suresh Vadkar ji. So I feel blessed. That's it. I mean, what else can I say?
So, you were talking about bad times, these COVID times, but you, in these couple of months itself, you also found an initiative called Musico Positive. What was this idea behind this venture, and what problems are you trying to solve, and how?
So, Music Positive is an initiative which I would define in one single sentence. It aims to spread positivity through music. That's it. I mean, it has no other aim. Secondly, I got this thought. I was performing at the annual HR convention of the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University in Vadodara, and they have been inviting me for the past 2 consecutive years to perform. So they typically have a session from morning 8:30 till 6 p.m. in the evening, wherein from 8:30 a.m. till 1:30 2 p.m. they get a lot of people from the HR, from the industry, to lecture them. So people come, they lecture, and it kind of becomes monotonous by the end of these, when these lectures end. And I just realized, I mean, I saw the energy levels of the students at 1:30 or 2 p.m. And after that, I got a chance to perform. That was my slot after the lunch. The post lunch was my slot, wherein it's a challenge. I mean, after lunch and after having such a hectic day full of lectures, students are not willing to show their energy levels, or they are not willing to be hooked to something which is of their interest. They want something. I mean, they're just bored, as simple as that. So I performed, and the kind of energy levels which I saw at 6 p.m., they were outstanding. I mean, they were unbelievable, and they were not allowing me to leave that space. They wanted me to sing more, to perform for some more time. So I just thought that, I mean, if music can bring about increase in energy levels and spread positivity, it would be such a great idea. So, on the whole, pre lockdown, my idea was to go to different cities and collaborate with the regional musicians. I mean, every city has got their own set of musicians, but the problem over there is those musicians do not get enough recognition. They are good artists, they are amazing artists, and they are performing from on a day-to-day basis for different singers and performers, but they do not get the kind of recognition which they should get. So with this initiative, I wanted to provide those musicians with the recognition. At the same point in time, my musico positive sessions would include a motivational speaking combined with music. So that is something which any university, any school, any college, or any corporate for that sake would look forward to. Because at the end of the day, as of today, people have realized the importance of positive energy. So that was my idea, and to go to each and every city, collaborate with musicians at the same point in time. You collaborate, so you're spreading your music, you're getting to learn from them, and it's an amazing collaboration, I must say. So that couldn't happen since it's lockdown, but I've still started with the training on Zoom on a one-to-one basis to various students who want to learn music, who want to self learn music. So I try and teach the process which I adopted in my journey to them, so that they're able to self learn. Because not everyone can afford or has time to have a proper guru and go and learn from him. So this is something which can be done. Not a formal training is required always to learn. If you have you have a bit of musicality, it helps, and you can multiply on that. Apart from that, I have reached out to various hospitals in the city, wherein I look forward to do these musico positive healing sessions for the patients in the general wards, free of cost, because this isn't the time to charge. Charging time may come later, but this is the time to spread positivity and to be a good human being and spread that around. So that's what is the most important thing for me as of now. So that's all about musico positive.
That's actually a very unique idea of creating positivity through music. And speaking of music, now, after all these questions, we would request you to perform something for us, and the audience could like to can put their suggestions, can put their requests, so that he will perform for us.
Sure,
So
Surbhi. And I'm taking up requests. I'll start off with one of the songs, and by that time, whatever you want to listen to, you can just type it in the chat. And if I know the song, I'll surely sing it for you. So here we go. So, Surbhi, just to check, is the sound fine?
yes, the sound is fine.
ओ रंग रेज ओ रंग रेज तेरे रंग दरिया में ओ रंग रेज तेरे रंग दरिया में डूबना है बस तेरा बनके है नहीं रहना के एक भी सांस अलग नहीं लेनी एक भी सांस अलग नहीं लेनी खींच लेना प्राण इस तन से करे नहीं रहना जब मुझको रंग दे सोने सोने रंग में मुझको रंग दे रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना. So I can see a few of your requests here in the chat. So just a moment. Gulabi Aankhein, Mast Magan, Kun Fayakun, Kabira. Okay, I'll sing all of those. गुलाबी आंखें जो तेरी देखी शराबे दिल हो गया संभल मुझको ओ मेरे यार संभलना मुश्किल हो गया ला 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 दिल में मेरे ख्वाब तेरे तस्वीर जैसे हो दीवार तुझ पे फिदा मैं क्यों हुआ आता है गुस्सा मुझे प्यार पे मैं लुट गया मन के दिल का कहा मैं कहीं का ना रहा क्या करूं मैं दिलवा तेरी आंखों का ये मेरा कातिल हो गया संभल मुझको ओ मेरे यारों संभलना मुश्किल हो गया ओढ़ के धारी प्रीत की चादर पाया तेरे शहर में राजा तेरा दुनिया जमाना झूठा फसाना जीने मरने का वादा सच्चा मेरा इश्क मिलना मुझको सुहाए तुझे संग सुखी रोटी पाए बस तेरा दोहराए मन मस्त मगन बस तेरा नाम दोहराए वो चाहे भी तो भूल न पाए मन मस्त मगन तेरा नाम दोहराए रंग रेजा रंग रेजा रंग रेजा ओ रंग रेजा fire जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था वही था वही था वही था वही था जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था वही था वही था वही था वही था वो जो मुझ में समाया वो जो तुझ में समाया मोला वही वही माया fire टूटी चारपाई वही ठंडी पुरवाई रास्ता देखे दूधों की मलाई वही मिट्टी की सुरहाई रास्ता देखे कैसी तेरी खुद गर्जी ना चुने ना चुने कैसी तेरी खुद गर्जी किसी टूट के ना पाओ बन लिया अपना पैगंबर बन लिया तू सात समुंदर बन के सौदा अंदर यूं रहेगा रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा यूं न जा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयां रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा यूं न जा कैसा तू है निर्मोही कैसा हर जाइया So I hope just a moment. Let me check the chat. Okay, so that sounds good.
Yeah.
And I'd like to sing one of the song which I would dedicate to all the audience out there. So I hope you all like it. We are meeting virtually, but I'll love to meet all of you in person for sure at some point in time in my journey. So this is dedicated to all of you. I hope you like it. तुमसे मिलके ऐसा लगा तुमसे मिलके वरना हुए पूरे दिल तुमसे मिलके ऐसा लगा तुमसे मिलके वरना हुए पूरे दिल के मेरी जाने तेरी मेरी मेरी तेरी एक जान साथ तेरे रहेंगे सदा तुमसे न होंगे जुदा तुमसे मिलके ऐसा लगा तुमसे मिलके वरना हुए पूरे Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing performance and was really
Thanks,
wonderful
Surbi.
to see you performing live.
Sure,
So,
sure. Maybe virtual platform this time, but would love to come and perform for all of you in person.
yeah. So we have reached to the end of our talk show, and I would express my sincere thanks to our speaker for coming and sharing his experiences, his aspirations, and his learnings to pursue goals. I would also express my thanks to Team NUSC and Dr. Christine Dilemma, who made this talk show possible. And I'm sure every one of us will be inspired and will imbibe this idea of conquering ourselves.
Thank you so much, Surbi, and really means a lot. It has been an honor, a pleasure to be here interacting with all of you over here, maybe in a virtual platform, but that's what we need to do as of now. I would like to urge everyone, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever we can connect musically. I would love to connect and I would love to spread positivity around. Just stay safe and take care. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot, Surbi.
Thank you. Thank you.